Let's move on to another hot topic, obviously. Topic number 2, dominant Durant. And we're talking about a team that was, stricken by injuries. The Brooklyn Nets, with Kyrie going down with an ankle injury and Harden going down. I think he's nursing, a hamstring injury or a couple of things that James Harden's nursing. So it's just really one of those things where it was, wow, big for Durant to show up like this. But, I mean, we're talking about how is pandemic Paul going to show up or playoff Paul? Well, we just saw playoff Durant show up big time.
Yeah, that's right. If you take a look at that stat line to the left, that's right before the fourth quarter even started. So Durant finished the game last. So just to kind of recap for everybody, series is tied 2-2. Kyrie Irving's now out. He sprained his ankle in game 4. And James Harden isn't 100%. A lot of people didn't even think he was going to play last night in game 5. He ends up playing, but it's clear from the get-go that he's not healthy. His hamstring is bothering him. He can't move, even though he's not necessarily lightning quick. He can't move as well as he normally does. He just doesn't look like the same player. So, everybody's been saying when the Nets really need this game, Kyrie's out, Harden could have been out, or even if he's hobbled, like was the case last night, Durant's going to go off. And I'm sitting there like, are we sure? Are we sure he's going to go off? I mean, the Bucks, have Giannis who they can throw on him. PJ Tucker has been all up in his grill the whole series, these past 2 games. And I'm like, I don't know. It's going to be hard for him to go off when he's the only one that's really that one-on-one scorer. And boy, was I wrong. Kevin Durant last night played 48 minutes. He played the whole game, 49 points. 17 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals. He had a couple of blocks. And if you go back and watch any of the highlights, I mean, just the way he was getting open, the way he was getting to the basket, the way he was hitting threes, he was moving around screens. He was, I think, 4 for 9 from 3. It was just unbelievable. Meanwhile, for Harden, Harden was out there, but Harden's stat line, he was 1 for 10 from the field. 0 for 8 from 3. He only took 3 free throws, which is really low for James Harden. So he wasn't right last night. Durant had to have that monster game last night for them to, go up 3-2 in the series. If they lost last night, there's a good chance they're losing to Milwaukee in game 6.
Yep.
Okay, 'cause that one's back in Milwaukee. So they had to have that win last night, and Durant had to have an epic playoff game for them to win that game. Durant comes through. Durant's annoying sometimes with his sometimes he whines about different stuff off the court. The guy's had burner accounts on Twitter to check out what people are saying about him. He's got like rabbit ears sometimes, but the guy is an unbelievable basketball player, one of the greatest scorers in the history of the NBA, but his all-around game last night was just unbelievable, and he's proving why he's one of the probably top 2. He's just right behind LeBron, as I think is the second best player in the NBA.
I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I want a burner account just so I can maybe do some things like that.
See what people say about comeback sports behind your back.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I mean, KD went off, and I think this, in my opinion, was huge for his legacy. Okay? Huge for his legacy because obviously people question him. He went to, Golden State to get his titles. He's now teamed up with Kyrie and Harden to maybe chase down another title. Well, honestly, this was probably the biggest moment to keep their title hopes alive. And Kyrie was obviously hurt and sidelined. And Harden, like you said, put up pedestrian numbers and was really stricken by an injury as well. Probably shouldn't have even played if they were smart. And here comes KD, and he's just lighting it up, and they just continue to go to him, which is the smart thing to do, especially in basketball. When you have a hot hand, you literally just ride that wave, and KD brought it for 4 quarters on almost every edge of that court. He was doing everything. Like you said, what an unbelievable stat line with that triple-double, 49 points. And like you said, I don't think most people seen this coming. I think they were saying maybe he's going to put up maybe 35, maybe 36. And maybe, like you said, if they lose, then it's probably over for them. He says, no, come on, I'm putting you on my back. I'm putting the city on my back. I'm going to drop a 49 piece for you with a triple-double, and we're going to go out and get the win and put us in control of the series right now. And I honestly think it's one of those things where it put the Bucks now on the back foot, obviously being down 3-2. But I think the Bucks thought they were going to come in and get the win. And then here he comes and just, saves the day, puts that Superman cape on, comes out of the phone booth and lights it up. And so I just think this is big, not only for obviously the Brooklyn Nets and taking control of the series going forward, but I think big for KD's legacy and shutting up those guys. And he might not even need to get on his burner account at this point to shut up those critics. I would just come out with my regular account and just start posting my clips from last night, honestly, because he really tore it up. And I think it was big for him and big for the city. And like I said, big for his legacy.
Yeah, the Bucks were up 16 at halftime. So that just shows you the Bucks were actually, it looked like they were going to run away with it, probably right around the third quarter. So also, with Giannis too, it's like you see what Durant did last night. Giannis has struggled from the free throw line. He scored 34 last night. It's not like he laid a goose egg or anything like that, but you just keep wondering too with Giannis if he's ever going to get to that superstar. I mean, he's a superstar, but to that, next pantheon of basketball players, because he's just kind of still not there yet. It just keeps taking a little bit longer, with the poor free throw shooting and with the lack of the outside shot. You see what Durant can do with that last night.